I got a little different video for you today that I haven't done before, and today I am spraying a herbicide that I believe is around 10 years old. What I mean by that is I've had the bottle for about 10 years. I think, I'll tell you the story here in just a minute, but I believe I got this in 2015. The time of this video is 2025. So it may not be 10 years to the date, but it's getting really, really close to the 10-year anniversary of when this product was developed. So today's video is sponsored by Graham Spray Equipment. You guys know that watch me a lot. I'm in the weed control and fertilization business, and the spray rig that's on the back of my truck comes from Graham Spray Equipment in Douglasville, Georgia. If you need a spray rig for your business, go to grahamse.com or give those guys a call. Now let me tell you the story as I walk. So what happened, 2015, I'll take you back, some of you know this story. I go to what was then the GIE Expo, which is now the Equip Expo, or GIE Plus Expo. You know, Equip Expo, Louisville, Kentucky, first time I'd ever been. I go, I'm in the weed control and fertilization business, had a push spreader, a spiker spreader, and I'm just hanging out there at the event. Of course, it's overwhelming. It's like 30,000 people, almost 25,000. I don't know, you know, it's huge. And so I'm there just kind of taking it all in and walking around, and I'm signing up for some of the giveaways. And as the story goes, I was at my hotel on the last day, I forget, or the day I was gonna leave. So, and I had already seen the show, been there for 2 days, and was getting ready to drive home. It's about a 6-hour drive for me. And I had filled out some of these giveaways. Well, I get up, my phone had died. And so I go back, get in the car, plug my phone up, and I check, I've got a voicemail, and I had won one of the giveaways. Now, this has nothing to do with me being on YouTube or anything. I filled it out for my company name and everything, and they gave away a Permagreen ride-on spreader sprayer, which was an unbelievable upgrade for my business. And so back then you had to pay for parking at the event. I didn't want to pay for parking. I'd walked over from the hotel, which wasn't that far. But anyway, when I get back, I'd won. The guy called me and said, hey, you're the winner. So I drive back over there, pay $12 to park or whatever it used to be, and walk in, and I'm a winner. And they come out a few months later and film me with my new Permagreen. I started using that thing, and I hadn't pushed many push spreaders since, to be honest with you. So a historic day, but it was given away by Dow, D-O-W, and they had a product that they came out with. I guess it came out about that time, but it was called Defendor, a Defendor herbicide, and it's specially formulated. I think they advertise it as like being a great product for dandelions. So they gave me a bottle of that. It's not something that a lot of people in warm season grasses use. I think it's a lot of cool season lawns have a lot of dandelions, and it was designed also to be effective in cooler weather. Well, I looked at it, it's actually labeled for warm season lawns, and I'm filming this in February. It's cool weather, warm season lawns, and there's dandelions. So, and I've had it for about 10 years, and I just didn't use it. And so I want to mix it up, and I want to spray some dandelions and some other weeds, and let's just see how well it works. I want to see how well the product works, but I want to see how well a 10-year herbicide works, because there can be some thoughts to you know, the effectiveness of it, how long it's going to work. It's been in a non-air conditioned situation, cold winters, hot summers, and I think these products work better than we think they do. And I want to test it out in a real life situation. If nothing else, it'll be interesting to see. So we're going to mix up Defender. I'm going to show it to you, and we're going to mix it up. I'm going to show you the weeds. We're going to spray the weeds. We'll come back and check on them, and we'll see if they die or not die. So here's the product, Defender, Dow AgroSciences, and again, this was about 10 years old. One of the things they also advertise about this is that it's for very low rates. It's up 4 ounces per acre is the rate. The problem with that is, not a problem, that's actually a good thing, but it can be tricky mixing that in a small batch. So for me, I've got a little 2-gallon sprayer here. I'm going to put some non-ionic surfactant in there, and I want to try to mix it at the rate consistent with the 4 ounces per acre, which is going to be a very, very small amount in this. So we've got a little measuring cup here. I'm going to do my best to mix it at that proper rate, and then we'll go spray some weeds, and we'll keep an eye and see what happens. So let me show you the weeds we're going to be spraying. Again, dandelions is one that they really talk about Defender being a good product on. So I want to include some dandelions, but there's some other broadleaf weeds in here as well. We got a cool day. We've got rain coming in later this afternoon. So this is a challenging situation with a 10-year product, 10-year-old bottle. So we're going to put it to the test. I got a lot of confidence that it's still going to work. We've got a couple flags out here just kind of marking the general area, and there'll be plenty of weeds that we're not going to spray. So you can see here we got some dandelion action. We got some what do you call that, the geranium, wild geranium, Carolina geranium. We got field matter, which is kind of a tough one, honestly. I don't think it's going to do much on the wild onions or garlic, but mostly looking at the broadleaf weeds here is what we're going to try to control. And there'll of course be dandelions, you know, that are not going to get sprayed, so we can compare what it looks like. So it's like maybe some kind of clover. And anyway, we've got an assortment, so we'll spray a general section here, and we'll give it some time. I have no idea if we're going to see results in a week or 3 weeks. I have not an experience with this product, so we'll see what happens. And as a side note, I kind of enjoy the videos where I don't know how they're going to end. Sometimes I do tests, I pretty much know what's going to happen before it happens. I don't know what's going to happen, so that's exciting to me to watch the end of this video as well. As a side note, I do really like these little battery sprayers. This one is a Scott's zero pump technology. I think they say 2-gallon battery sprayer. I can try to remember to put a link to this in the video. All right, here we go. Got my wand here, holding the camera and spraying, so bear with me. Got my PPE on, rubber gloves, rubber boots, long sleeves, long pants. So let's spray. I just gently missed it. I sprayed kind of a large area because I want to give plenty of opportunity for it to work here, and you know, so we're gonna see what happens. I'll check back soon and we'll see if we got any action. Well, it's been about 2 weeks since we have sprayed the application, and it's been a crazy weather. I say crazy, I mean it's been like down to 17 degrees, and today was around 70 degrees. So we just had a mixture, some really cold weather. Now it's warming back up, so let's see if anything's happening with these weeds. Now, one of the things we need to differentiate between is like what it's happening because it was really, really cold, and what's happening because of the herbicide actually taking effect. So let's see if we can find some that hasn't been sprayed. Here's some different weeds. Let's see if we can find like a dandelion that over here that hasn't been sprayed. Well, there's plenty of broadleaf weeds. They're very green. And then if we look at the ones that we did spray, again, I'm thinking cold weather is not making this super fast, and I don't really know, somebody might know, is the Defender, is it kind of naturally a little bit of a slower working product, probably especially with the weather being cold. So you can see there's definitely, the leaves of the plant are turning brown, and I think that's from the herbicide, but I'm not 100% sure. So we're going to give it some more time. We got warm weather, and I don't see this field matter here. Some of it may be because of how cold it got. And this weed here is looking kind of sad looking. So I think it's doing something, but I'm not 100% sure, just because I don't know if anything happened just from the cold weather. Let me go up here and look and see some. Okay, so here's some that haven't been sprayed, and they also look a little sad. So it's a little bit too early to tell. But we've got consistent 60s and 70 degree weather coming up. So if something's gonna happen, I feel like it's gonna happen in the next week or two. So maybe we're getting a little bit of results, but we'll give it some more time. We'll check back soon. It's been another week or so since we last checked in. I've been a little under the weather, but the weather is warming up here, and so we want to see if we're getting a little bit more action on these weeds, if it's going to work, or maybe if it doesn't. I'm not saying it's a bad product. I think it would show, hey, don't use 10-year-old products. So we'll see what we're looking at today. Now this does look a little unusual. I mean, I don't know. Like there's some like white blotchy looking stuff on the leaves here, and definitely some brown color.
happening there, so that's a good thing. You see these are looking pretty thick and curling. Let's see if we can find some that we didn't spray so we can compare. I'm looking for a dandelion. Hold on just a second. Sorry, it took me a while, but here's some similar weeds to the ones that we were spraying, just there and that one, and so you can see these are definitely greener. So my point is, I do think it is working. It's not been fast, and we're going to keep giving it a little bit more time before we decide if it was a failure or if it did work even after 10 years. We'll check back. So I'm going to look at the weeds again. It's kind of, in my mind, something needs to happen real soon, or I'm chalking this up as a failure. So let's see what they look like. If we've had warmer weather, we're on into March, things are positive. Something, if it's going to die, it needs to go ahead and die. So let's take a look. If you remember when I did the original application, I did kind of spray a broad range here. I sprayed all in this area. And stuff is brown. I'm not saying it's not like doing anything. It does look like it's doing something, but that dandelion is just damaged, I guess you'd say. And these weeds, they just look kind of wilted and damaged, but it's hard to say that it's been an overwhelming success by any means. I see the ones you compare it with over here, some weeds that weren't sprayed, and they're definitely greener and healthier looking. So I'm not saying it didn't do anything, but at this point, I'm really starting to doubt that it's going to do anything more than what it's already done. So what do we make of this? Well, I don't want to keep dragging this out. I'm calling it quits right now. I think that this is what we got from a 10-year-old herbicide. I'm assuming that Defender's a great product, and you can leave it in the comments if it is. I think what we want a conclusion we can draw is that, hey, there is some expiration limits on the bottle. Whether it says it on there or not, it's going to lose some effectiveness over time. Now, I've used stuff that was several years old and still found it very effective, but I guess in this situation 10 years was just too long. When I first sprayed it, in my mind I was thinking this is going to work. It's just going to still die, that's why it's just going to work, but it didn't happen that way. So now we know. I mean, sometimes you do the video, you don't know how it's going to turn out, and I want to show the good, bad, and the ugly, and it's not the fault of the product, it's just the fault of me for not using it for 10 years. So thanks for watching the video. If you hadn't done so, subscribe. I got some more that'll be more successful than that one. But what I want you to know is when you watch the video, you're not going to get a fabricated story at the end, hopefully. You're going to get what happens in real life, and I think hopefully you can trust the channel for that reason. We'll see you guys in the next one.